Hey Dosers, Tracie here. Thanks so much for joining us as we are unpacking the theme of hope during this Advent season. And I'm going to talk about the hope of heaven today. And when I think of heaven, I immediately go back to a really formative time in my faith when I was under the teaching of my in-laws, Gerald and Shirley, and my mother-in-law always did the worship as well at church. And when she would start a song about heaven, it seemed like everything would change in the room. Her demeanor would change, her face would change, the pace would change. And as she would continue to go on and on through the song, man, she'd hit every key on that keyboard and she would get us all singing and rejoicing. It was always this rejoicing about getting to heaven. And so I pulled up a song that we used to sing when we all get to heaven, just to give you an idea of some of the lyrics with it. It says, when we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. It says, while we walk the pilgrim pathway, clouds will overspread the sky. But when traveling days are over, not a shadow, not a sign. We go on to talk about the joy of making it to heaven. And you know, when we talk about hope, that means this expectation that something is going to happen. It's not like crossing your fingers, but it's this expectation that something's going to happen. And then we take Advent, which is this expectation that Jesus is coming again. And that means heaven for us. And I love where Jesus even says, like, hey, if I didn't mean it, I wouldn't have said it. Like, there are rooms being built for you, and I will come back for you. And then I love in Hebrews where it says to us, this hope that is going to occur is an anchor for our soul, firm and secure. We can bank on it. But I think all too often here in our Western world, we get so wrapped up in this life. We get wrapped up in our possessions. We get wrapped up in our successes and our relationships and all the things. And certainly during this time of the year, we have so many things that keep our attention. And I think the challenge today is just like, are we thinking about our hope of heaven? Because it is an anchor that gets us secure when all the other things are going on around us. I promise you, dosers, if you start thinking about, if you start reading about, if you start singing the songs about heaven, just like back with my mother-in-law, it will change everything. Your voice will change, your demeanor will change, the tenor of everything changes if that's the filter that we do this holiday season with, in this hope of heaven and being with God in eternity. So that's my challenge today, is start using the filter of the hope of heaven. It changes everything.